Or is that like the thing you post on Classroom in our notes?
Yes, that's then we worked on that page to review graphing. I posted the key, and I gave y'all. It was just that notes page. That's it.
Okay.
We're gonna move on today. Hi, dear. How are you?
Is that just like us and I don't turn it in?
No, that was just a review. Kind of give y'all an extra day before we move on to something new.
Alright, and the exams, not the exam, the test is Friday, right?
I'm really hoping we can do it Friday. I really don't want to do it on Monday. So, because that would be bad for y'all, and y'all need time to review and all that good stuff. So, yeah. But if you want to, you can move it to Monday if you need extra time. Okay.
On that quiz I missed from Thursday.
3:20. There we go. Where are we at? Okay, so we got to solve for y, right, in order to graph something. So how do I move the x to the other side? You subtract it. That leaves you with negative 2y is equal to negative x. Now what else can I do? By negative 2, perfect. 2 negatives cancel out. So guys, instead of writing that as x over 2, what could I write? 1/2 x. You could also write. Very good. All right, what was the other one? The other one was x plus y equals 6. This one's easy to solve. What do I do?
Subtract x.
Perfect. And when I subtract x, what do I write? Perfect, Gracie. Very nice. All right, then you go to your handy-dandy calculator. And you type in, I'm just going to type in 0.5 because that's the same thing. Well, that's negative 5. 0.5x for the first one. The second one, I'm going to type in negative x plus 6. And I hit graph. And the answer 4,2, what happens at 4,2 to these graphs? That's where they intersect. Very good, Anthony and Dee. Very good. Right there at 4,2, they cross. Y'all okay? Alrighty, what about number 25? Number 25, how did it say to solve? By substitution? Yep, substitution. No, excuse me, 24. 24. Negative 6,4. Do I need to go over how to get negative 6,4 by substitution? Okay. So substitution, you have to have a letter by itself. Okay, so what's my letter I can get by itself? Huh?
X.
From the first one or second one?
First.
From the first one. If I solve that for x, that would be x equals negative 6y plus 18. And then anywhere you see an x, what can you plug in instead of x? Negative 6y plus 18. You distribute. Combine like terms. Yes, sir.
That's a 36, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Sorry. Let's see. Combine like terms. So negative 12 minus 3. And then I'm going to move the 36 over. Then I'm going to divide by negative 15. What? Do I need to go up? Do I need to put that step in?
Y equals 4.
No? Yes? No? Okay. Divide by 15, and y equals positive 4, right? Y'all okay? And then how do you find your x value? You just plug it in right here. Oh, can't see all that, can you? All right, what about 25? 25 was the exact same thing, and we got 4 negative 1. Do I need to go over how we got 25? 25 is the exact same thing. All right, what about 26? What did 26 say? It said solve by elimination. So do I need to go over how we got 26 of negative 4, 6? Yes? All right, in order to do elimination, you have to have the same letter with the same number. My x's nor my y's are the same. So how do I make them, how do I make 4 and 5 or 2 and 3? You want to do the y's, you said? Okay, so to make 2 and 3, that's 6, right? It's the same. So you need to multiply this top one by 3 and this bottom one by 2. Now hold on a minute, let it focus. Don't look at it. Wait for a minute. Let it focus. We are. You are correct. We are experiencing some technical difficulties. Hold on, guys. There we go. All right, so multiply the whole top one by 3, whole bottom one by 2. So that'll be... Yeah, I was just waiting on it to focus, sorry. If I put my hand there too fast, it won't do it. And the bottom... Notice how your y's are the same now? How do I make 6 and 6 eliminate? How do I make them go away? You subtract. Now you got to be careful and subtract everything. So what's 15 minus 8? 7x. What's 6y minus 6y? 0. Negative 24 minus 4 is, there you go. Then divide by 7. And you get negative 4, right? So you've got 4 different options. You've either got your first 2 or you've got your second 2. It doesn't matter that you can plug in this negative 4. I'm going to pick the first one because it's got some smaller numbers. So 5 times x is 5 times negative 4. Add the 20 to the other side. Oh. Divide by 2. And you get 6, right? I was thinking 6 and wrote 6. So see, negative 4, 6. Y'all okay? All right, tonight, let's look at what problems we need to work out tonight. Let's see, we need to do... 27 through 30 tonight. So the cool thing is we have Monday, which is not exam day. Monday's a normal day. So the ones of these that we don't finish, then we'll get to go over on Monday. Kind of review everything that we need to review on Monday. If any of you have any makeup things to do, you can make up on Monday. Does that make sense to everybody? Y'all okay? All right. Yes, sir. Hurry. Hurry, hurry, hurry. They do, because I have too many things I need to grade, so everything's got to be in this week. Unless it's a dire emergency, like you're in the hospital or something. Okay? Because that'll give me time to get everything graded before I have to have everything in. All right, here we go. You ready? We got to finish up, and we got one more test to take. All right, so look, guys, we're going to try to have our test on Friday. Bless you. Try to have our test on Friday, but we still have Monday as a normal day. So if we get to Friday and you're like, Miss Fountain, look, I am not ready for this test. This graph and stuff got me all messed up. Then you can take yours on Monday during class, okay? You just won't get to review like everybody else will. Or you can come during 0 period Monday morning. Okay, so keep that as an option. I'm going to try to have this test on Friday, but if you're not ready, you still can take yours on Monday, okay? All right. What? Did I not give you? Oh, you were out for a couple of days. That's right. A whole week. Yep. All right, come here real quick. You know what? I think I got my extra copy to somebody. Yeah. might have to write this down on a piece of paper for today, and I can get you an extra copy. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I'll get you an extra copy and have it tomorrow, okay? Yep. All right, y'all ready? You got your stuff ready to go? What about your check-in forms? Do y'all need help on any of those check-in forms? Yes, no, maybe? No, most of y'all probably don't. Okay, let's look at number 13. So the front half of this was what we worked on Friday, right? Okay, so I posted the key. If you want to look at those and check any ones that you did, if you have any questions about any of them, come see me when. 0 period. Yes, ma'am.
Did you like film that?
No, I did not. I just posted the key. All we did was work on them individually in class that day. All right. Where are we at? Okay. So it says write the polynomial. So not yesterday, Friday, we were graphing them, right? Now this one wants us to do what? It wants us to write it. So here we gotta figure out a couple of things. First of all, we gotta figure out the degree. What else do we need to find in it to be able to write a polynomial? The leading coefficient? Okay. All right. What else do we need to find besides that? So we need to find the degree. We need to figure out what the leading coefficient is. And we need one more. What do we need? What numbers? Be specific.
Isn't the number
The x values. They're really called the zeros, right? Or the roots, the x values. All right, so the degree and the x values are pretty simple. What's my degree? First of all, let's start out. Is it even or odd? It's odd, right? Because it goes in different directions. Now, somebody said something. What's the degree? 3. Why is that? Because it goes, it's a nene graph, it's a cube graph. The degree is 3. All right, y'all good? What about my x numbers? What's my zeros? What's my first zero? -1. And what's my other zero? +1. Are y'all okay so far? All right, so let's plus you. Let's write what we know so far. Okay, so we know that y is equal to x plus 1 and x minus 1, correct? Take the opposite signs. Are y'all okay with that so far? So which one has the square and which one has the exponent of 1? So which one has the parabola? Did the -1 have the parabola, or did the +1 have the parabola? The -1, right? But you got to be careful. You had to change the sign. So when I write it, it's x plus 1 has the parabola, has the square. Because remember when you took this, set it equal to 0, what would the x value be for this one? -1, right? This is the -1. You have to take the opposite sign. Are y'all okay with that? All right, what about the leading coefficient? It starts, so let's make sure that I don't think we really emphasize this. If it was even and it had a positive leading coefficient, where are both of your ends going, up or down? They're both going up, correct? This may be something that was really beneficial that somebody in, I think it was 4th period, we did this. It really helped everybody. What about if it's even and a negative leading coefficient? They're both going down. All right, this is the one that y'all freaked out about when it was odd. So what is a normal cube graph? A normal cube graph looks like this, correct? Where's that first end value going? It is going down. So if you have an odd and a positive leading coefficient, the first one's going down. Where's the other one going? Up. And if it's odd and a negative leading coefficient, it's just opposite. The first one's going up, second one's going down. That might really help some of you when you're graphing. All right, so let's look what we have. Look at 13. Where's our first one going? Going down. So is my leading coefficient positive or negative? It's, oh, that first one's going down. It's positive. So I know that this leading one is going to be positive, right? Okay, where does it, what's my y value that it goes down to? Negative 1, right? Okay, so remember you have to take the opposite sign, so my leading coefficient is just positive 1. Make sure you put that positive so that you know it's a positive graph. And you're done. All right, let's go on the next one. All right, you need
not to put 1 in front of the white.
Do you need to? Yep. All right, so what do we need? We need my degree. We need the leading coefficient. And we need the zeros, the x values. Very good. All right, we'll start with even or odd. They both go in different directions. So is that even or odd? That's odd, Jonathan, right? When they go in opposite directions, that's odd. One's going down, and one's going up. Look, guys, you know it's got to connect down here, right? It's got to connect down here.
Oh, I didn't see the 0 right now.
All right, so let's see. My degree is odd. What is this right here? This looks like what kind of a shape? This looks like a parabola? That looks like an A when they're both going the same direction. That looks like a W. How much is a W? What number? 4, right? Whoa, we're not done yet. Then it goes back up here. So what was a W and then another extra piece from the other day, from Thursday when we went over these? You should have them in the front of your notes.
5.
It's 5. Very good. W was 4, and then a W and an extra piece was 5.
So 1 is not a W.
Right here.
It's like a deformed.
It is a deformed W, but it's still a W. All right, let's look at my leading coefficient. So if it's odd, and they're going in different directions, my first one is going down, my second one is going up. So is that positive or negative? That's positive. Very good. All right, and let's see. Where is it going up to? What number? What number? It looks like 1. Is that a 1? Yeah, it looks like a 1. Positive 1. All right, what are my x values? What's the x value right here? 0.
1.
This one is 1. And what is that, 3? Is that right? I got to count because I can't see those numbers. All right, so if it has an x value of 0, does it have any numbers with it besides an x? No. So I can start off. I'm not going to do my exponents yet. I'm just going to do an x.
Your exponents?
My exponents, yes. Hold on, Brinkley. All right, what's my next one? My next one is positive 1. But look, guys, when I write it, I have to do the opposite. So it's x minus 1. If you don't know if you got it right or not, x minus 1 equals 0. What would that x value be for x minus 1 equals 0? Positive 1, right? And then this one is positive 3, so I need to do the opposite sign. If you don't know if that's right, x minus 3 equals 0, what would that x value be? 3. All right, so Brinkley, do you see how these have numbers with your x's? And this one doesn't have an x, a number? So when you don't have a number with your x, it's just 0.
How do you get leading coefficient?
It's positive because I know they're going in different directions. If they're going in the same directions, it's even. Different directions is odd. Okay? If the first one starts down, it's a positive leading coefficient. This first one starts by going down.
So is it always 1?
Not always. We're going to get to a different one in just a minute.
How do you know, like, how did you get the number 1?
Look at the very top number right here. See how it goes to positive 1? See how this one went to 1? This one's going to be different. All right, so let's look at exponents. Right here at x is 0. At x is 0. Okay, what's happening right here? It's half of a parabola down, right? And then it's half of a parabola up. What's happening? What is that? That's a cube. Very good. That's an NA graph. That's a cube. All right. What's happening at the 1 is going straight down. So what is that? That's an exponent of 1. Do I have to write the 1? No. I'm going to write it so that you see what we did, okay? And what about at the 3? It's going straight up, correct? How much is that? If it goes straight up? 1. Add them together. What's 3 plus 1 plus 1? Isn't that what my degree was supposed to be? Okay. So if you really want to get technical, it's x cubed, x minus 1, x minus 3. If you want to get real technical. Are y'all okay? All right, let's do this one. I need my degree. I need to know if my leading coefficient is positive or negative. And I need my zeros. I need my x values. What shape does this make? A W. You should know what a W makes. How much is a W? 4. Very good. Or you can see that they're both pointing up. So you know it's got to be positive or negative leading coefficient. Positive coefficient. We're going to get to the number in just a minute. And what about my zeros? Let's see, we're going to have to count. That's negative 1. That's negative 2. That's negative 3. And let's see, that'd be negative 4. Are y'all okay so far? All right. Do you see this little hump right here for the W? What number does that go up to? That goes up to 2. So my leading coefficient is positive 2. Sydney, see how I did that on that one?
Yeah, but I'm still saying you did it on the first.
They went to 1. Even though it's a little under 1,
Oh,
see how it went to 1?
oh, and then you made it negative. Because, I mean, you made it positive.
Not necessarily. The reason it's positive is because they went in opposite directions, right? And when it's positive is that the first one goes down and the second one goes up. That's when you know it's positive, okay? All right. Okay, let's do this. You ready? So I know my leading coefficient is positive 2. Are y'all okay on how I got the positive 2? Yes, no, maybe? Come on, guys. We got 1 week. We are almost done. You ready? All right, so let's see. I have to say the opposite signs. So this would be x plus 2 and x plus 4. Are y'all okay with that? Yeah? Okay. What's happening at 4? What kind of shape does that make at 4? That's a parabola, so that's a square. What's happening at 2? That's a U, that's a parabola. You don't believe me? Add them together. What's 2 plus 2? Isn't that what my degree was supposed to be? All right. We got one more.
Wait, how did you find out that the leading coefficient is 2?
Because it went up to 2 on the Y. See that little hump right there in the middle? All right, let's see. What's my degree? What's my leading coefficient? And what are my x values? Okay, here we go. Is it going opposite directions or same directions? Opposite directions, right? Okay, so is that even or odd? It's odd. So right here, I got to say, okay, my first one is going which direction? Down. So if my first one's going down, that is a positive leading coefficient. Are y'all okay with that? All right, let's see what we got. Degree would be what? What's this look like? The Nene graph, which is 3, right? It's a cube graph. So let's see, what are my x values? How much is that? Negative 2, is that right? You'll help me. I have to having a hard time counting up there. And then positive 1, is that what that says? Are y'all okay? Okay, so Sydney, look at this one. You see how far down this one goes on this one? So let's count. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Goes down 8. This is down here at negative 8. Okay, so how far up does it go up here? Looks like about 2, right? About 2. Divide those. What's 8 divided by 2? 4. The other one, Sydney, I didn't have to do that because they were both 1s, right? Okay. So let's see. Y equals 4, positive 4, right? And then I have opposite signs. X plus 2, X plus 1, X, well, I gotta write my X first. Oops. X minus 1. Are y'all okay?
How did you get the leading over?
You took, it goes way down here at 8, right? I counted, it goes down 8.
Okay.
This one goes up 2.
Is that only
Bottom and you get 4.
Why is the 8 there?
Or on that?
Hmm?
Why is the 8 there?
You don't go off of that if it's negative. You go off of this one goes down first. This one goes up second. If it goes down, then up, that's positive.
Would you only like divide it like that when it's a cube graph?
Yes. And that's the only one I'll give you on the test like that. The other ones we'll do by, like this is easy. You just look at where it goes up to. Okay? All right. Do they have any exponents on any of them? They're all 1, right? Because how many x's do you have? 3. And what's your degree? 3. There you go. All right, let's flip to the next page. All righty. Oh my goodness, here's some more factoring. All right, let's fly. You ready? You ready to fly? I'll fly away. Oh, glory. Anyway, here we go. Ooh, okay, there's 2 different ways you can do this. 2 different ways. So, remember, you cannot factor until each equation is equal to 0. Very nice, very nice, very nice. All right. So, let's look at this. You ready? There's 2 ways I can look at this. I can either move the 9 and square root, or I could do x plus 3 and x minus 3, right? Which way do you want to do? X plus 3, x minus 3? Okay. And then you cut it, and x equals negative 3 and positive 3.
Okay.
What?
I just subtracted the 9.
You could, but remember when you square root, it's always positive and negative, right? When you move the 9, you got x squared equals 9. Then how do you get rid of a square? You have to square root, and when you square root, it's always positive and negative. You get the same answers. All right, what about number 2? Number 2, you can't do that because you don't have a difference, right? So you got to subtract the 9. So x squared equals negative 9. And then to get rid of a square, you square root, correct? Ooh, here's those pesky little negatives, right? What's the square root of 9? Technically it is
3i.
plus and minus. And what's the square root of a negative? I. So it's plus and minus 3i. All right, what about number 3? What do you notice about those 2?
You can factor out
You can factor out what?
3x.
3x. Very good. Oh, there's no x there. All right, split it. So you got 3x equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. Y'all okay? All right, so for time's sake, let's skip number 4 just for 2 seconds, and let's go down to these, okay? We're going to come back to 4. We're going to come back in just a minute. All right, do you remember the formula for the cubes? Ooh, remember soap? Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. I think we even came up with that in this class, didn't we? Can't remember. It was either this class or a different class. All right, so here we go. It was x squared and your same sign. What's the same sign here? Excuse me, it's not x squared, I'm sorry. It's x, and then your same sign. What's the same sign? Addition. And then your b. Then it was x squared. And the opposite sign. What's the opposite of a positive?
Negative.
Negative. Or I probably should put a instead of x, either way. Alright. So then you multiply the two together. Then that last sign was always positive. And you square the b. Alright, let's do this one. Same sign. What's the same sign? Negative. Then it was x squared. Opposite sign. What's the opposite of a negative? Positive. Multiply the two together. And that last one is always positive. Alright. Before we can do anything on 5, what's it got to equal? 0. So how do I move this? You subtract. It already is add. You got to subtract it. You got to remember those perfect cubes. What's the cube root of 8? 2. What's the cube root of 27? 3. Very good. Got to remember those perfect cubes. Alright, so here we go. It's 2x.
2x?
Yeah, it's an x right here. What's the same sign? Would be a negative, right? So 2x minus 3.
Wait, how did you get 2 and 3?
It's the cube root of 8 and the cube root of 27. Remember that perfect cubes test we took about 2 weeks ago?
Oh.
Alright, let's see. Then you square it. What's 2 squared? 4x squared. Then the opposite sign was the opposite of a negative. Positive. Multiply these two together. What's 2 times 3? 6x. And that last sign is always positive. Square your b and you get 3 squared is 9. Are y'all okay? Alright, before we factor this, let's do this one. Frankly.
Why did you want to keep the square on 4?
Because that's the formula. 9 doesn't have a letter, and 3 squared is 9. So I don't have to write the square. I can tell me what 3 squared is.
Okay.
Alright, let's do that. Before we move on, we're going to finish this one. Let's factor this, okay? What's the first term? What's the first number right here? 1. And what's the cube root of 64? What number times what number times what number is 64? 4. There you go. Alright, here we go. So it's the first, so it's 1x or just x. What's the same sign? Huh? Positive. And then 4, right? Then it's x squared. And the opposite sign is a negative. Multiply these together. What's 1 times 4? So it'd be 4x. That last sign is always positive. And frankly, I can actually square 4. So what is 4 squared? Anybody? 16. Yes.
Like, because in the thing, it's like,
Well, this is supposed to be, this is really technically times a. If you want to be technical,
okay.
this is a. This is a.
Because it didn't make
A. Yeah, let me put that a in front. That'll make sense for you, like that. Is that better? Okay.
Miss Black.
Yes.
I don't understand the point in having that whole equation.
Because we're about to factor it.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess it's.
So, here we go. You ready? I can factor this piece right here. And I can factor this piece right here. Let's do 6 first because he's easier, okay? What are the factors of 16 that add or subtract to be negative 4? What are the factors of 16 that add or subtract to be 4? Nothing, right? Okay, so I can't factor that one. But I should be able to factor this one.
So that problem's just all over?
No, we're not done with it yet. I'm trying to see which ones we can factor. Hold on.
You're-
Stop. Hush.
3 and
2.
3. Positive 3 and positive 3.
Yeah, but that one's not going to give me 6. That'll give me 12.
Oh, yeah.
No.
See,
Four.
this is what had me
2.
big.
That would be... Yeah, Scotty, that's not going to give me 6. This is 4 and 4. 2 and 2. This is 3 and 3. That's going to give me 12, not 6.
Uh-oh.
Looks like we can't do anything else. Looks like we just leave it like this.
This question's rigged.
Alright. So, we'll just leave it like that.
No.
You can't factor them.
You better have these on the test.
I better.
Oh.
Ooh. Ooh. I actually did have these on your last 2 tests. So this will be the 3rd time. Remember the quadratics test?
Nope.
Nope. Alright, let's look at 7. Here we go. Notice anything between all of them?
X squared.
They have an x squared, right, Matthew? They have an x squared. So let's see. X squared would be x squared plus 10x plus 21. That one will factor. Alright, so cover this up. What are the factors of 21 that add or subtract to be 10? 7 and 3. You got it. Bring that x squared down, though. Alright, now look. It's got an equal 0, right? So if it's got an equal 0, you can cut all of them up. What the heck is x squared equals 0? It's 0. Y'all okay? Pretty easy, right? Okay, what about number 8? What do you notice?
X squared. And the 18's on the wrong.
You gotta add the 18 over first. You got it equal to 0. Now what do you notice? Say that again, Gracie.
You're missing an X.
No, you're not.
You can't factor out any.
Yeah, you can.
So like
9 and 2.
it's in there.
And how do you split up x to the 4?
X squared.
X squared. Plus 2 and plus 9, right? Okay, so this time, when I cut them up, it's going to be just like 1 and 2. Actually, this one is just exactly like number 2, correct? It's exactly like number 2 that we just did. So I'm going to move that 9. It'd be negative 9.
Can we just do plus and minus 3?
Nope. It won't work with a plus sign. That's the difference of 2 squares. This is a sum of 2 squares. Alright, when I take the square root, what's the square root of negative 9? 3i. Very good. Very good, frankly. Alright, this one, I'm going to move that 2 over. So it'll be x squared equals negative 2. And when I square root this one,
Plus or minus
square root of negative
3.
You can break that down a little bit.
Square root of 2i.
I square root of 2. You cannot square root the 2. It is not just 2. Alright, let's look at the bottom 3, and then we'll go back to number 4, okay? What about number 9? What do you notice about that one? How many terms does it have? 4. So you remember the grouping stuff that we did? Man, all that factoring's coming back to bite me, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Told y'all better learn it.
How did you do
What, baby?
that part of number 8?
No, which part on number 8? This part? What's the square root of a negative?
Oh.
And then you can't square root 2, so you got to leave him inside.
Okay.
And then anytime you square root, it's always plus and minus. You're okay on the rest of it? Okay. All right, number 9. What's the first 2 have in common? X squared. There you go. So that leaves me with x plus 3. All right, what do the next two have in common? Plus 4 or minus 4? How'd you get that? Because there's a positive. There you go. Always take that leading term. So that leaves me with x plus 3. Oh my goodness, in order for this to work, what had to happen? They had to match. Very nice. All right, you can cut it up now, right? So x plus 3 equals 0. X squared plus 4 equals 0. That one's easy. That's just negative 3, right? All right, what about this one? I'm going to...
Plus and minus this 2i.
All right, so I'm going to move that 4 over. It'd be negative 4, right?
How to think.
And Matthew is correct. Plus and minus. I can take the square root of 4, and I can take the square root of a negative, which gives me plus and minus 2i. Y'all okay? Everything's coming together now, right?
Yeah, man.
You love it when things come together? I know. When a plan comes together. Who said that? It was some from movie.
It was
What movie
the
was
guy
that?
from 18.
That's right, 18.
Hannibal, there it is.
All right, what about these two? X squared. Ooh, what's that lead me? 2x minus what?
1.
1. Very nice. Ooh, be careful. What do these two have in common? Negative. There you go. Perfect. You got to hit that leading sign. All right, so negative 6 divided by negative 3 is a positive 2x. 3 divided by negative 3 is minus 1. Very good. They have to match up. Move that up a little bit more. That's as far up as I can move it, guys. All right, let's cut it down the middle. So 2x minus 1 equals 0.
You see 2x equals positive 1. And you have to, so x equals 1/2.
Very good. X equals 1/2. Very good, Matthew. Very good. What about this one?
X equals plus or minus I x square root of 3.
Not I, because I'm going to move that over to be positive, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So x equals just plus and minus square root of 3. Very good. Very good.
Miss Bucky,
Yes, sir.
you know when we're going to get the sign-out sheet for the exam day?
You were supposed to get it first period.
I didn't get it.
If you didn't, just ask your first period teacher tomorrow. Or stop by and see him or her today.
Okay.
Okay? All right, what about number 11?
You have to move the 9 over.
There you go. Well, so that'd be minus 9, right? Then we can... Yep. I almost didn't get that negative sign in there. All right, so let's see. It'd be x squared, x plus 1. And it'd be negative 9, right? And then x plus 1. These two match. Y'all okay? All right, cut it. Did y'all get negative 1 for the first one?
Yes. Negative 3. I mean 3. Sorry.
Not 3. Plus or minus 3. Very good. Gotta have both of them. Because remember, this was a parabola, right? If you were to...
That's what I asked. For this one, and you were like, no, you gotta write the whole thing.
Because this was... You do have to write both of them. That's what we did. Plus and minus 3.
No, man, like 3 and negative 3.
It's the same thing.
Yep. Oh.
It's the same thing.
You get it?
This, number 1, we just split them up. This one, we just wrote them together. If that's what you were saying earlier, you didn't say that. You said 3 earlier. I promise. I promise. I promise. All right, let's go back to number 4. Finish it out. You ready? All right, here we go. This one's just going to take a little bit of extra time because we got to split it up. All right, so do you want to do difference of 2 squares or do you want to move the 25? What do you want to do? Do difference of 2 squares? Okay. So let's see. This will be. How do you split up the 4?
2x.
2x squared. How do I split up the 25?
Minus 5 and plus 5.
Minus 5 and plus 5. There you go. Sorry, guys. I thought the bell rang at 04 for some reason. All right, we'll finish that tomorrow. Y'all have a great day. Sorry about the time.